Are you guys ready for a secret? A very small secret, but with a large, huge meaning, huge significance. So tell me, how many of you have ever felt that your entire day has gone by? When it started, when it finished, you couldn't even realize, but the day is over and you haven't done really productive in the entire day. How many of you have ever experienced the fact that your day was completely chock-a-block, completely busy, yet when you finish the day, you feel that you haven't done really good enough to make you go closer to your long-term goal? Does it happen? Sounds familiar? Yes. So guys, this is exactly what I'm going to speak about today. And I think this is absolutely nothing new in all of us life. I am no exception. So guys, I used to be an extremely well-known time waster. You must be wondering, time waster in whose mindset? My own mindset. I used to believe I'm a time waster because every single day that I used to be finishing off my day in the evenings, and when I used to look back, I always used to feel, what have I done in the entire day today? What constructive or productive I have done in the entire day today? Zero. Nothing. That used to be the feeling in my mind many years back. Let me tell you one more thing. The honest part is that I would have never imagined, if I compare myself with that part of me, that time of me, that I would be speaking today on this topic with anybody for that matter. If you are one of those, if you believe this happens with you, congratulations. I welcome you to the tribe which wants to be productive. I welcome you to the tribe which wants to be constructive. I welcome you to the tribe which wants to be goal-oriented. And that's what you are. And if that's the case, just hear me on. So guys, as I told you, I was no exception to this. I was completely time waster. I never used to know when my day would start, when my day would finish. It used to be a daily scenario with me, and it used to be not a good scenario, in fact. So every single day when I used to be driving back to my home, I used to feel, what have I done in the entire day today? When I used to look back, there used to be a feeling of just a void, complete void. I used to feel the entire day has been absolutely useless for me. I used to feel the entire day has been absolutely worthless for me. I used to feel the entire day has been absolutely senseless for me. I used to feel what I've done in the entire day, I was completely unproductive. I was completely unprofitable. I was absolutely zero in terms of productivity. That used to be the feeling every single day in the evenings I used to get. But as I told you, not a happy feeling to get. And as a result, what started happening in me, that was a change which I wanted to definitely kill upon. I started to feel not excited to go to my workplace. Every single day in the morning, the excitement which happens to us when we are going for the work, that started to fade off. Now that's not a good thing, because for a passionate person like you and me, that excitement is the kick. That kick which is actually even harder than the kick on our butt. Yes, that kick of the excitement started to be missing in my life. And that was the time, being a workaholic person and of course as a passionate as well, I wanted to get over this. So what I started doing was I started giving more time to my workplace. Anyway, I was doing till very late evenings every day, but I started putting even more hours there. Now, when I started doing this without realizing, I'm sure you can understand, the small time that I used to be giving to my kids in the evening, that also started getting compromised. So as a result, my kids were also kicking me. So understand the scenario. That's a typical scenario. Just imagine, my kids were kicking me because I wasn't able to give time to them. My work was anyway kicking me because I wasn't getting excited towards it. So all that I was left in my life at that particular time was kicks, and more kicks, but no real kick to get me excited to work. That's where my mind was really going through a lot of different negative thoughts. Somehow that was a time when in my that organization my CEO came, and of course he was visiting from somewhere else because the head station was somewhere else. He visited us and he gave a presentation on 5S. He brought us to the knowledge of the concept called 5S. I'm sure you know what is 5S. 5S is basically a concept which talks about 5 S's. And this is a concept which was developed by Japanese, primarily targeted to take the clutters out of the workplaces in workshops from the manufacturing industry, because manufacturing industries, as you know, is known for its clutter. So to clean up that, they came out with this concept called 5S. Ever since, this concept has been very popular, very successful. In fact, this has been taken by many more industries as well, not just manufacturing. And hence, we also were supposed to do that because I was from healthcare industry. Now I was supposed to be working on that, and I started doing that. I had to implement 5S for my healthcare organization as told by my CEO. Now, when I was doing that, that was a time when my mind started working upon in a different direction as well. I started feeling, as I got into the depth of it, if I look at my life is also in completely cluttered scenario right now. In the terms of time, the time was all over the place, but it was still not productive. So I thought, why not to utilize the similar concept in trying to manage my own clutter as well? And I started doing that. That was a time when a bulb on moment came in my mind. And actually, few good thoughts and ideas started coming in my mind. So what I did was, I started doing, so the first S of the 5S is sort. You need to sort everything that you're doing. Then you need to do the then you need to do the set in order, then the standardization, and then the shine, and then the sustain. So the first thing was the sorting. So what I started doing, I started to keep a small diary with me. That small diary, I used to start writing my every single activity that I used to be doing in the entire day. Whatever I would do, except for, of course, my P&V hours, I used to note down every single thing that I was doing in the entire workplace. And I did this for about a week. And after a week, on the first Sunday when I started this practice, I read through all the activities that I was doing. Against each activity, which I had the activity's name, timing, the timing from when I initially initiated that specific activity and when I finished, so the total time taken on that. And against each activity, I was putting productive, non-productive. So in a way, I devised two buckets against each activity, productive, non-productive. And I was putting every single thing that I was doing under these two buckets in my diary that time. Now, when I did that, actually my eyes popped up because I could see 40% of my activities were purely time waste, completely time waste. Nothing to do with my long-term goal, nothing to do with my organization's goal. And that's where I realized this 40%, if I can get rid of, I can be more productive. And hence I started working upon that. So what I started doing, after a week's trial through the diary, I started doing this on a daily basis, on a time when it was happening basis. So if I would do something, for example, let's say 1 to 2 p.m., immediately at 2 p.m. I would note down on the diary and see, was this productive, was it non-productive? And I did that on a daily basis then, instead of a week's time. After about a week's time of this daily basis thing, I realized I didn't need to do anything. And that was the time, in fact, I shifted to the digitalization as well. I started doing this in my mobile. So I was doing this in my mobile for about another week's time, and another week spent. So 3 weeks after this entire initiation, I realized I didn't need to note down anything because everything was happening in my mind then. So even when the activity would start, I would immediately get a sense, this is absolutely useless for me. It is unproductive. I need to cut it short. So this is the way I started working. Now, just to make it more set in order, You understand, in the leadership positions there are few meetings and the reviews where you cannot be avoiding it because you need to be there just for the sake of presence because of the position. So those, in my opinion, used to be non-productive meetings, but still I cannot avoid it. So what I started doing in my mobile, I started putting an alarm of 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes is a good enough time for any meeting to be productive or not productive. So I used to put an alarm of 30 minutes in my mobile, and my mobile, ever since it is born, has always been on silent, on vibration. And I used to keep my mobile in my lap. So when the alarm would ring, it would be without sound, but only the vibrations will come. So nobody will hear. Only my thighs will feel it. So when my thighs would feel the vibrations, it will go to my mind. Get out of the meeting. It's not helping you. So because then I was able to analyze immediately, is it a helpful meeting? Is it not a helpful meeting? So the moment I used to realize, okay, 30 minutes have passed and I have not done anything constructive in this meeting, with some other excuse, I would just walk off. So while I was able to do the meetings, yet I was still able to cut short the time wastage there. Now, this became a habit for me, and the habit which has been continued even till date for so many years. So the last S of the 5S is sustain. So I have been able to sustain on this habit of mine. Initially, which started with paper, I digitalized it, then now it is all in my mind, completely, totally in my subconscious. So now I realize my productivity definitely has gone skyrocketing. This is a secret which you must know. When I can do this, why can't you not do this? You can do this too. Just try it. All that you require is a thought that you want to do this. Once you want to do this, you may feel initially this may not be looking so practical, but trust me, it's 100% practical. I am a living example of this. I have done this for many years and I've enjoyed doing this. It has become a part of my life now. And my productivity has been very, very good ever since. So basically, the first step is to decide to do this. Just decide to do this. You will realize you'll be able to find ways and you will be able to use this 5S concept in your day-to-day time management, clutters management very effectively, very efficiently. And you can be 500% more productive. Yes, when I said 500%, I mean it. Just try it. All that you need to do is just do it. When you do, you will succeed. As I said, the living example is right in front of you. Just try it, guys. It works. Believe me. Thank you.